The world's most important oil route suddenly became a battlefield. In the narrow waters of the Strait of Hormuz, something unusual was happening. Radar screens began showing dozens of fast-moving contacts. Military satellites noticed unusual naval activity along the coast of Iran. Within minutes, alerts began spreading across naval command centers, because the strait was beginning to close. And that could trigger a global crisis. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most critical waterways on Earth. Nearly a fifth of the world's oil passes through this narrow corridor. Every day, massive tankers move through the channel under the watch of naval forces. For years, tensions in the region had been building, and now those tensions were about to erupt.
Naval observers noticed Iranian patrol boats moving into unusual formations. Coastal missile batteries were becoming active. Something was unfolding. From Iranian ports along the coastline, dozens of small, fast attack boats began leaving harbor. These vessels were fast, heavily armed, and difficult to track. Some carried anti-ship missiles, others carried rocket systems and naval mines. Within hours, the boats began spreading across the shipping lanes. Commercial ships started slowing down. Oil tankers began sending distress signals because the strait was becoming dangerously unstable. Surveillance aircraft from the United States Navy were already watching the region. High above the Gulf, radar systems scanned the waters below. Every movement was being tracked. Inside naval command centers, analysts began building a full tactical picture. The conclusion quickly became clear. Iran was preparing to block the Strait of Hormuz. The response came quickly. A powerful carrier strike group from the United States Navy was already operating nearby. The aircraft carrier changed course immediately. Destroyers and cruisers formed a defensive perimeter. Radar systems powered on. Missile launch systems were prepared. Fighter jets began launching from the carrier deck.
Within hours, the naval balance in the Gulf began to shift. Iranian boats continued moving closer to international shipping lanes. Missile launchers along the coastline remained active. Military drones began flying over the water. At the same time, U.S. Navy surveillance aircraft flew constant patrols. Destroyers tracked every movement. Submarines quietly moved beneath the waves. The region was now on the edge of confrontation. One wrong move could trigger open conflict. But the presence of a massive U.S. carrier fleet sent a clear signal. The Strait of Hormuz would remain open. Naval patrols increased across the entire region, commercial ships resumed their routes, and the tension slowly began to ease. But the message had been delivered. Control of the world's most strategic waterway could determine the balance of global power, and every navy on Earth was watching closely.